temporary dip? Or is it time for the big capitulation? Let's check out the charts and break this sucker down. All right, what is up, boys and girls? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight we are going to have to break down this action that we are seeing on the charts because there is blood in the streets. I see nothing but red straight down my watch list, starting with Bitcoin and all throughout the alts. So we're going to decide if this is just a temporary dip in the beginning of this bull run that everybody has been talking about, or if this is the beginning of a possible strong move to the downside. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Take everything I say with a grain of salt because you could end up with an empty bank account, living in a box on the side of the road, eating government cheese as a result. But I am not a prognosticator. I'm just telling the truth about what I see in the charts and reporting my opinion about the opinions that are boasted about on YouTube. And right now, I would say that we need to see some explanations from the people that have been saying that Bitcoin is ready to tear off to the moon. We've had a lot of flip-flopping going on in the past few days, the past week, as a matter of fact, where we went from the general consensus thinking we're headed for another huge capitulation to uncertainty to this is the start of the new bull run, and now a mixed bag of some that still say we're going to the moon and some say that we are about to capitulate. One of the biggest failed predictions that I've heard to date was Chris of Crypto. I like Chris from Crypto and I watch his videos all the time, so do not take this as a cut on him as a person because I really do like this guy. Love his videos. But let me show you what his thoughts were about this chart. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here and see if I can get it to a point where I can draw out what he thought we were looking at. And it might need to be, let me flip the log scale. Nope, that doesn't make any difference. Let's just draw it in here. What he saw was a line that you would make a parabola that comes up, where he was thinking that we were approaching this point where we would touch back up to the bottom of the, what do you call the crazy, the channels that we have been looking at for I don't know how long, where we basically kind of come up. It's the regression scale, the regression chart, Bitcoin regression kind of looks like this. And he was thinking that this was the beginning of a move taking us back to the lower edge of the regression line on the regression chart, where we would touch this point and then blast off to the moon. And he said it was the biggest move in history for Bitcoin. And before it made it up into that point, and he said that it was possible that it would fail. So before it made it up to that point, it's reversed. And now we're looking at this big fat red candle that's forming right now that seems to have a lot of momentum on the 4-hour chart. But as we zoom out, we'll have to see what it looks like there. So that was a pretty wrong prognostication, a bad prediction. I think he had a good idea and it looked good on the chart, but sometimes these things don't play out like they don't play out like they would seem to play out. Now there's a few other YouTubers that get things wrong in a bombastic way, and they I don't think they're decent people because I think they're more concerned with getting people to hit those Bybit links, making that cash, rather than giving you good advice. Nobody should be giving trading advice because none of these people can predict. The only thing that people should be doing is talking about probabilities. Benjamin Cohen is like one of the few that I can even say is honest enough to not lead people down a pathway of destruction. And I model my videos after his, where we talk about the probability of going up or down. Are we at a 50-50? Are we at a 60-40? Is it 60% chance of going up and 40% of down? Or is it 30% chance up, 70% chance of going down? Something like that. That's what I like to talk about, the probabilities at each point. Like right now, with the momentum that is going down here, if we had our choice of breaking right out of this and going up or going down or having a rebound move, I would say that with the momentum that we see and with the stochastic divergent, let's change this to a circle and red. With this divergence and a bearish crossover again and a failure of the stochastic to continue on up to the overbought zone, I would say that along with this negative MACD situation and the oscillators diverging here and the printing of dark red bars on the histogram, the chances of continuing this move is probably 80% to 20% going up. Now it could turn right back around and maybe head towards this volume node right here. But we see that we're running into a slip zone where the volume tails off on the VPVR here. And we're probably going to snap into this next volume node right there, okay? And that's at $22,000. And the momentum could carry us below that. So I would say chances are 80% that we at least go to this volume node, and then at that point, it could rebound. Like right now, I would say 70% chance of going lower, and then maybe we're 50-50 once we get to this volume node where we could at least take a break and maybe recover a little bit. But since we failed the purple dashed line, that tells me that the negative momentum is something to be taken seriously. All right, let's clear this out. And let's move this sucker. Let's move me down here first of all so we can see this thing. Let's go to the 1-day chart and see what it looks like. Okay, now this is ugly. This is very ugly. This does not look bullish to me or like we're about to enter into a bull cycle. Here's the reason. We are still showing the same pattern of what we did before, where we're bouncing within this parallel trading channel, this ascending trading channel, hitting our head on the top as resistance, and now we're headed to the other side of the channel. Here is the point of decision right there. Do we come out of this with support and head back up to the top of the channel? Or do we fall out of the bottom of the channel? That's the question. And we do have the point of control node right here at approximately, say, 23,000. And then there's a big node here. There's the 20,000, 21,000 node. If we fall off of that node, then we're going to head to the red dash line, and that's the scariest line of them all. Now, on this stochastic, we can see here that momentum is, let's clear that out first. Momentum is strongly headed downward. We're almost into the oversold zone. So if we make it down here, maybe we could look at a possible reverse. But then when we look at the MACD, here's the thing of it. Okay, let me pull this down, scrunch this up. There's a bearish crossover on the MACD, and there it is right there. The blue line has crossed over the orange line. That is a bearish indicator, and we are putting dark red bars on the histogram down in the negative. And we also see that we have already peaked out on the MACD. Now let's crunch this in so we can show the peaks. We came all the way down here after this long downtrend that I talked about with the lower highs going on, and then we crawled all the way back up, right? Got into the green, little spot of red, back to the green, and now we have a bearish crossover right there. And overall, it's still keeping the same negative momentum, and we need to look at the 1-week chart in order to see that. So right now, on the 1-day chart, it looks like we're probably going to test the bottom of this line until we get down here into this oversold zone, because we have this divergence going on. It looks like the gap is widening between the fast and the slow line on the stochastic. So let's scrunch this down a little bit so we can see that. Now, when we run to the 1 week, here's the bear flag. There's the bear flag. We can see it. Let's draw it in just so you all can know what I'm talking about. Here was the first bear flag right here. And here's the second bear flag with this long flagpole right here. If we fall out of this one, it's big trouble, because then we're going to take the measured move and move this body out to here, and then that could send us down to this lower node at 12,000, or it could bring us to this intermediate node at the 15,005. Okay, that's what's possible. Is it going to happen? I'm not saying that it will. Just keep it in mind as something that could possibly happen. Here's a big node here, 23,656. A lot of strength at that point, and we are below that point. And momentum is not going up, it's going down away from this node. That's significant. Okay, now if momentum was going up, I would say it's looking good. We could probably slip through the slip zone here and head back up to this node at 30,000. But the momentum is going in the wrong direction. And plus, look at the stochastic. Do you see this blue line starting to curl over? If that curls over and we get a crossover sometime soon, forget about it. We're going to go down and find these other lower nodes. Rejection at the 200 EMA is concerning. Let's move this up a little bit. Move this out. Here's the 200 EMA. We don't even get up there. It's rejection on the parallel trading channel, not even at the 200 EMA. So that's double concerning. So if we get to this dashed line here, all bets are off. Now, what's the MACD saying? Let's scrunch this in. You see that trend line that I drew in there on the last video? Okay. If we reverse direction, and if momentum right now is saying we're going in this direction, oops, I need an arrow. Here we go. Momentum's going this way, right? So we have high, lower high, lower high. Just about getting ready for a stochastic or an MACD oscillator crossover right here. That would make another lower high, and it would keep us in this same trend, which would be to say that we got a bottom coming, folks. Possibility of a bottom. Now, where it will be, I don't know. We could end up double bottoming, where the bottom could just kind of be a repeat of what we already had. We could get to the bottom of the red dashed line and then take off from there. Because you can see that there's a spot here in history that, let me put it on here. You see this consolidation right there? That could be a point of reversal. And you see it's right at the red dashed line. Now, if we fail that, then there's nothing happening, in this range, but just this bullish run right there. There's nothing there that would indicate there's a good stopping point, so we would have to just trust the VPVR. And since there's nothing there, we could really depend on this little consolidation as the thing that saves us at the red dash line. So it's possible. The way that I'm going to plan is that I buy a little Bitcoin at the red dash line, because we might not ever go back down below that. We might get suckered into thinking that we're going to hit those lower volume nodes, and then we never do it. How many times have you thought that we're going down to zero and then price reverses? It happens. So if we get to the red dash line, that's where I start to buy at 19,000. There was a gap there. It got filled already, but there was a gap, a CME gap at that 19,000 level. And then you could DCA all the way down to 15. And then if it goes all the way down to 11 or 12, which I don't think it'll happen unless we get like a super crash whenever the Mt. Gox coins are released to the people that lost them, it's possible we could dip down that low, but I'm not betting the farm on it, because institutional buyers may soak up the new liquidity that is put into the market from those coins being released, sold by those who are owed the $137 billion, or is it $37 billion worth of Bitcoin? I forgot what the number is. That's what the charts are looking like overall. Let's just shoot up here real fast and look at the Dow and the DXY. Dow is looking like it's ready to reject at this descending line here that I drew in. Fast lines curling over on the 1 week. We could reject there and go down. DXY is at 107. This is concerning. Here you go, folks. There it is right there. There's a crossover. DXY is ready to pump. DXY is ready to continue this and move up. This crossover is just getting started. And now, when you zoom in on the MACD that looks like it was going to have a bearish crossover, let's just look right here. Bring it in, folks. Bring it in. You had a bearish crossover that unfurled and it was a fake out. There it is right there. Look at the DXY. It crossed over bearish right there. And now what happened? The fast line said, nope, I'm not ready to cross over and go down. I'm crossing again. And now it's about to cross over bullish, which would follow this bullish crossover here and this major bullish crossover of the 50 and 200 EMAs, with the 50 overtaking the 200. And a divergence, the distance between these two lines, is an ever widening gap. That's what I mean by divergence. It means we have an angle that is getting wider and wider and wider. That's a divergence, okay? A convergence is when they start to get closer and closer and closer until they cross over, all right? That's what we look for. So DXY is ready to romp. Dow is ready to go down. FUD coming by the end of the month, and the charts all saying that there ain't no guarantee that we're about to start a bull market. It's premature, people. And all of our big mouths who have been calling everything wrong on YouTube, well, explain this, please. I sure like to hear it. Well, that's all I've got for now. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you want to help with the cost of production of the Crypto Pro channel, you may submit a super chat or a super thanks. If I ever go live, you can super chat me. But for now, give a super thanks if you would like, and you will help to defray the cost. And big shout out to my man Carl with the $10 super thanks in my last VV video. I appreciate you, Carl, so very much. And I will keep pumping out the information for you and put in that work. And that is all I have for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.